I want to talk briefly about another standard on my fantasy playlist, September 29th, 1981. This one coming in at number 30. I'm going to take a different tack on this one, talk about a little bit about the technical aspect of this aspect. Try to cut these videos in one take. I want to do as many videos as I can tonight without having to go through 2 or 3 takes. So bear with me when I make these mistakes. Song at number 30, the Moody Blues with the Voice. Another anthem by the Moody Blues. Boy, they were coming out with them Tuesday afternoon in 1968. There was, what was that song that was rocking it? Well, there was a Question in 1970. The Story in Your Eyes in 1971, Ride My Seesaw in 1968. That was one of their best records back in the summer of 1968, I believe. Of course, Night in White Satin and Singer in a Rock and Roll Band. That was in 1973. So now we got The Voice in 1981. Long Distance Voyager was the name of the album. Gemini Drinks was a fantastic record off the album. First single went to number 15 back in the summer of 1981. Upbeat record, and then they came out with The Voice, the Moody Blues. Patrick Moraz, one of the group members, Patrick Moraz, he played with the Moody Blues. He was also in the band, yes, as well. He was very busy. Now, you had other guys in the band singing, and they're playing drums, they're playing bass guitar, electric, acoustic guitar. But Patrick Moraz, he was very busy. He played all kinds of synthesizers on this record. He played the Mellotron. That was a pretty popular instrument back in the, I guess going back to the late 60s, 70s, into the early 80s. He also played another synthesizer called the Mini Moog and another analog synthesizer called the Roland Jupiter 8. Patrick Moraz played that instrument on this record. That was a flagship synthesizer for the Roland Corporation, the company that put out this synthesizer. Basically, he played about 4 or 5 synthesizers on this record. But perhaps one of the most, kind of a famous synthesizer he played on this record, it was the Yamaha CS80. Yamaha CS80. It was developed in 1976 and then went out of production in 1980. But one artist who was a big fan of the Yamaha CS80, the synthesizer, was Vangelis. You might remember Vangelis. He had that hit Chariots of Fire in 1982. He lived and breathed this instrument. He thought it was one of the best instruments that ever put out, best synthesizers that ever put out. It was hard to learn. It was hard to play. You need to practice a lot to make this thing work. But it had a keyboard on it. And once you made this thing work, you do all kinds of things with this Yamaha CS80. I guess Patrick Moraz of Moody Blues would probably share the same sentiment because he used this instrument on this record. Heavy on the synthesizers. This record. And about 5 or 6 synthesizers, instruments he played on this record, Patrick Moraz. Well, it's The Voice by Moody Blues at number 30 on my fantasy playlist, September 29th, 1981. Hope you waited through the technical details, all right. All right, Moody Blues on my fantasy playlist back in 1981.